I'm going to take a moment and tapping into gratitude. I'm aware of some of the self-consciousness. Yeah, I know. And I feel great love. So, the theme for 2024 is, it's a grand rising. The topic for June is holy boldness. And the topic for today is sacred audacity. Like, that seems like an oxymoron, but it ain't. The following quotes affirm our topic. This is from Matthew chapter 7, verse 7. Ask, and it shall be given you. Seek, and ye shall find. Knock, and it shall be opened unto you. Napoleon Hill wrote, whatever the mind can conceive and believe, the mind can achieve. And German philosopher von Goethe, I don't know, is that right? Goethe. Okay. Goethe once said, whatever you can do or dream, you can begin it. In boldness, there is genius, power, and magic. Let's affirm together and tap into that sacred audacity and boldness inside you. I'm bold, courageous, and brave. And don't let anybody tell you anything different. So I am welcoming Reverend Dr. Kathleen Johnson.
This is going to be very short today, but we do want to get the topic started off with just a centering in what this is all about this month, because this idea of sacred audacity and sacred and holy boldness is what is being called forth from all of us to address all of the various challenges that are taking place on the planet. And so the thing is, there's some really good news about this. And the good news is that each one of us are made in the likeness and image of God. Each one of us are sacred, holy vessels of the divine. Each one of us has the capacity to receive divine inspiration from that presence of the divine or God that is a field of all possibility and all potentiality. We have the capacity to be co-creators with God. We have the capacity to receive ideas, and then we're actually imbued with the courage to act boldly upon them and bring them into reality. We know this, right? Those of us who've been involved in this teaching for quite a long time. Amazing things happen when we step into who we are in truth and when we rely very deeply on the presence of the divine within us. Right? Yes. And in addition, in addition to that, we receive the inspiration, we have the boldness, and we are backed by a universal law that is all part of God's grand design that acts upon our word and brings it into manifestation and brings forth all kinds of resources that we didn't even know were available to us to support these sacred ideas. And so we can act then with sacred audacity that yes, this is an idea in the mind of God, and yes, everything that I need is going to come forth and show up to support me in this holy endeavor. Right, Joyce? Huh? I do my own stunts, right. and so this beautiful grand design of ideas in the mind of God pouring through us and into manifestation through universal law is a very powerful thing to know. Understanding that in partnership with God, when we understand that those ideas, those seemingly impossible ideas, are for us to do, and we step forward into that, we are living in holy boldness. We are living in sacred audacity. And then there's another piece to it that I wanted to share with you. And it was inspired by this quote by Emma Curtis Hopkins. She says, "Nothing straightens out the mind like looking all claims of evil boldly in the face with uplifted conviction that there is nothing but good, telling all things that there is one substance, and that is spirit, there is one life, and that is God, and only one mind, and that is God." When we look those things, and we can use the term evil, we can use the term poverty, we can use anything that doesn't seem in alignment with the possibilities of the divine. We can look that in the face and say, this is not the truth is, and that way we don't get scared by the world of effects. Right? So we can use our holy boldness in that way too, and that means that that we can resist the temptation to buy into us versus them, to buy into any type of divisiveness that's going on. I'm going to make it real present to what's going on in our country and in the world, and to understand that we have the power to transform those things. Do not underestimate the power that you have and the power of your prayer to look things boldly in the face that seem like they're out of alignment with the nature of the divine, and to proclaim that in the midst of this, something amazing is happening. This too will be used for good. So one of the Emma Curtis Hopkins sayings that I love, that I use when I face challenges, and I've seen the demonstration over and over again, is this too is good, this too is God, this too is for me, and I demand to see the blessing in it. Now that's holy boldness, right? That's sacred audacity. That's Emma Curtis Hopkins. She stood as a great role model for us in terms of how to stand in that place of holy boldness. So, I'm going to do it in just a minute. So I would like you to we're going to practice it right now. Think of something, think of a challenge, and we call it the world of effects, that you are facing. It can be something personal, it can be something in the world. Close your eyes and think about what that is. And then say with me, very boldly and audaciously, you ready? This too is good. This too is God. This too is for me. And I demand to see the blessing in it. All right. You feel that? Okay, I think now is the time to introduce Joyce. This is a woman who embodies sacred audacity and holy boldness, and so does Erin back there too. And we're so grateful for the work that you're doing on the planet, and we're so excited to see what's going on right here and right now. All right, my friends. Let's welcome Joyce. Let's welcome her with a standing ovation. Woo! Thank you. You're welcome.
Wow. I'm becoming weepy already. That's not a good start. No, it is a good start. And that means it's real, right? Number 20. Is that okay? Am I good? All right. Yeah. Sorry. Can I share this space? Is that okay? Can I put that here? I don't want to. Yeah. Okay. There's, you guys, I mean, I know you know what this community is, right? You guys are on fire, and it's really amazing. And I'm so happy to be here. I'm so grateful for the invitation. I'm grateful for your support. I'm grateful for Erin. And I also want to remember my mom. Because my mom is just a great example. She's still alive. She had a very bad stroke. But that lady, she was bold. Oh my gosh. And she's still a bold prayer warrior. And I learned a lot from her because she saw gaps and she filled them. There's no music. We'll make music. There's no athletics in my school where we went. I'm going to be the gym teacher. I mean, that's the kind of woman she was. She's a teacher. She's stubborn. She's very strong. And I learned a lot from her. And also the way they cared for people. They cared for their neighbors. These people, this person lost their husband, bring them over. This person lost their wife, bring them over for dinner. Cooking, eating, those are the things. So many things that was like, that is the overwhelming warmth of my mother, taking care of people and ministering to people in so many ways. And I learned from her. And I think that that's the thing. It's just like the holy boldness. It comes from the amazing truth that we know comes from God, and it gets expressed through other people, right? So you learn from the examples around you, right? It's so amazing. That's how we can be spirit for each other, right? So the more that we do that, that's the way we offset that, whatever you were calling them, the effects or whatever. That's the way we offset that stuff, is being that for each other, right? And that's what we did, really, with Water is Life Kenya. I went to Kenya in 2006, and it was a drought time, and we helped with food relief, but pretty soon we saw that we needed to bring water. And so I just want to give you a little bit of a sense of place. You can go ahead, advance the slides yeah. So we're in Kenya. We work in Kenya, and that big yellow line is the equator. And so the equator actually goes through Kenya. Where we are is southern Kenya, near the Tanzanian border. Go ahead. And that red block is about the size of the state of Delaware, and that's our work area. So we work down in the south, near Mount Kilimanjaro, near Amboseli National Park. Maybe some of you might have had the chance to travel there. Go ahead. So in 2006, I was working as a volunteer there, helping girls go to school. We saw the need for clean water. Water is definitely a background. My original idea was, okay, it's just a matter of families don't have enough money to send their kids to school. That wasn't just it, yes. It's a matter of not having enough resources, but it's also not having water resources. Mothers need their girls. You can go to the next one. So this is the quintessential image, right? Women carrying water, they need their daughters. They need their daughters sometimes to fetch water with them, sometimes to stay at home and watch the young kids while they're out all day, because water is far, and sometimes the water that they're able to collect is dirty. Sometimes on the way they meet wild animals. There's all kinds of obstacles on the way. And the water that they get when they take it home is just that little amount in that jerry can, in that 5-gallon container. And you're not going to go out again, right? Because maybe that one round trip took you 8 hours. So you have to figure out how to use that one jug for the day, right? And so what you find, and this is just such an image I always have in my mind, is like the women take care of everybody else. They give a little water to the small animals. They wash the kids. They take care of the husband. They make sure they can cook the food. And then for themselves, the little bit of water is left, and that's what they wash their faces with, right? That's how women are, right? They care for their families, and they put them before others. So the Audacity, really came, it's like that idea of like, is this really the way it has to be? Isn't there a way we can mobilize resources to come and solve this problem so that people can have that basic thing of clean water? And so that really motivated us. Can you back up to the slide? I just want to give you a little overview. Right, so our water projects grew into other projects. They grew into, you see all those cows? It's not a very clear photo, but those are all cows in the distance. We work with livestock keeping communities in southern Kenya. They keep livestock, provides about 85% of their income. And so we have a program called Livestock as a Business. And livestock as a business to provide income for their families, to be able to keep their water projects online. That's why we do livestock as a business. I'm going to skip Hope for Widows. We have beaded handicrafts. As you can see, all the beautiful things that are in the back. This is a sampling of the amazing talent of the women in that area. And as soon as they get water, they have more time, they need income for their families. And so we wind up working with a lot of women's groups. We come and sell them to you. First, I buy them from them, and then, so these are all things, they've already been paid for. And women, I mentioned this last time, it's really important. Bead money is money that a woman keeps in her pocket. She can take care of things at home with that, buy food, take care of her kids, right? It's money that she gets to home. So please go, sorry, if you don't mind going backwards, yeah, to the four. So beaded handicrafts. And the one that we're going to talk about more today is one of our most audacious programs called Hope for Widows. Okay, sorry, go ahead. It's okay, yeah. So go ahead, we'll show you the water, what we do. So, yep, so we dig wells, go ahead. When the water comes out, women get excited because they know what it means for them. Life is going to change. No more of this crazy long distances. Their energy can be used for other things. Their talents can be developed. They can blossom. They can bloom. They can have thoughts. You know what I mean? Like release their energy to do something else. Make music. All the creative things that, all the amazing things, the gifts that people have inside them. When they're carrying water, it's a burden. It's a barrier for everything else to happen. So here they are enjoying the water. This is a photo from our most recent borehole in Lositeti. And the test pumping day, ladies came with all their containers to fill them up. They could wash everything, including the crazy stuff that needs a lot of water and a lot of soap, like blankets. So they were just getting water and going back and getting water and going back and washing, everything clean. So go ahead. Yep, we can go ahead. Yep. Yeah, so our projects also include a lot of construction. So there's livestock troughs. So this is stuff that is just being constructed, like in the last week or two. We've got solar panel array on the top and a big water tank on the bottom. So those are the kinds of things. It's not just about getting the water up. It's about pumping the water out. It's about storing the water so that people can use it as their livestock and even wildlife that pass through in the night and drink the water as well. Okay, go ahead. Okay. So I'm going to start. This is the story of Hope for Widows, right? And this was audacious because these are women in Maasai culture. I mean, you guys know. Let's talk culture for a minute, right? Like the culture of this place is warm and loving. If somebody came in here and was like, didn't want to shake hands, didn't want to hug, it would feel weird, right? That's the culture of this place. You guys have a culture of love and openness, and it's beautiful. In the culture of the tribe that we work in Kenya, the Maasai culture, widows are marginalized. It's a very male-dominated culture. Men carry sticks. I'm going to carry one too, darn it. Today's my day to carry the talking stick. This is something that's usually carried by men, but today's my day. Seriously, if I got up in front of a Maasai audience and I had this, people would just be like, you'd see that thing going through people. Like, does she know what she's doing? And I'd be like, yeah, I do. I know. But anyway, so they're marginalized. They're under their husbands. They're part of, in Maasai language, there's actually a word that includes women and children, inkera. They're my dependents, right? In a way, that's good. The father's, he's the one who's taking care of everything. But it also means that they're in the same category, right? So in terms of those that are dependent on me that I take care of, that stand behind me, if you want to put it that way, right? Really is that way. That's the culture. And so when a husband dies, women are kind of in limbo, actually. And sometimes they don't have, a lot of them, well, I'd say about 95 or 98% of the women over 30 that we work with are completely illiterate, right? So they don't know really that much about money. They don't know how to read. And they're really, they're very dependent when their husband is alive. And when he's dead, they're sad, right? And number two is they're kind of lost. There's a bit of a safety net in the community, but sometimes it doesn't work out well, and women they're kind of stranded. And so, when we were doing water projects, so all those things that we do, doing water projects, doing livestock as a business, all those programs, you see a lot of people. And I realized that, there's always people who come in who are like really, you can tell by their clothing and their body condition that they're poor, that they're impoverished, right? They're wearing they only have one set of clothing. It's very dirty. It's very raggedy. Their kids are looking the same. And so I really was, it was on my heart I was asking myself, where are these ladies? Where are we're not getting them in our livestock as a business program. I knew it. They're here, they're at the water projects, they're coming to fetch water, but they're not in our livestock as a business program. So I remember, it kept on coming up. I would bring that to the women in our livestock groups, and I said, where are these ladies? They said they're too poor to even be in groups because they're so overburdened that they don't have time for that. They don't even have that little bit of money, like 50 cents or 25 cents, to be most of those groups have some kind of a weekly offering because they're saving money. Maybe they're buying tea, they're making tea for each other in the course of the day. They have to have a little to chip in. And some of those ladies have nothing. But where are those ladies? Because they need us. We need them, right? We're like, there's something there. That was back in 2017 and 2018. But that thing kept on coming up with me. And I was like, God wants us to take care of people, right? You can't forget about those people. And then it turned out that in 2019 in Kenya, in our area, they started to do land subdivisions. So we work in an area that's like it's like a reservation, if you want to call it, for Maasai people. Like if we think of the Southwest or different parts of Native American reservations, this is a Maasai reservation, and they're called group ranches. Well, they decided that they needed to subdivide the land so that each person, if they're a member of the group ranch, that you would have your own land. You would have your title deed for the land. And then what was happening when they were making these lists of people, and there was a processing fee, like for the surveyor and to get the title deed and those things, the documents, and it was a little bit pricey for even some normal, for regular people, about $150. And the women, the widows, they couldn't afford it. So we realized that there were people who were not going to get their land. So in addition to everything else, right, everything else that had happened in their lives, they're probably going to be kicked out, not have access to the land that their family deserved. They were on the list, but they couldn't afford that processing fee. So, in this process of trying to figure out who are these poorest people, this whole other thing was happening, and it's like, these are the women. These are the women, the widowed ladies who don't have resources, who are scrambling to keep their families together and alive and their kids in school as much as they can. These are the people that we can start with them. How? So that was, one of our donors, an amazing lady called Cynthia, came in and she said, I want to help women. And so and she had a chunk of money. She said, I want to help these women get their land. So we were able to help the first 40 women get their land and another 25 women get their land. So they actually got their title deeds. After that, we were able to, gather information from them. Who are they? What do they have? What are they doing so far? How many kids do they have? What's their education level? All those things, just like baseline information. And we found out that the average number of kids they have is about 6. The average number of goats they have is about 1.5, so nothing in the scheme of things, right? They don't have cows, maybe 1, but probably a lot of them have 0. But their kids are in school. They've been trying with everything to make sure that their kids can be in school. Sacrificing everything. I mean, I'm serious. You're like, how are you doing that? You're looking at the age, okay, it's a 10-year-old, and he's in 5th, but, 4th grade, 5th grade. That's about right. A 17-year-old is in high school. That's about right. So they've been working so hard to make sure that their kids are in school. So I'm like, okay, that's the fire. That's the fire that, let's go. We're going to do this. So so based on that, I was like, you know what? We just need to help them have a steady stream, find a way of having them have a steady stream of income. So to start small businesses, so we came up with a program. This is, again, it's like, Aaron's showing me the 5-minute time. we're really, it's like that, now, like, what is the way forward? Okay, God, show us the way. Show us the way. What is going to help these ladies? So we came up with this program, business skills, a way, so a teaching curriculum where they would be able to learn, tell their stories, support each other, have a community of widows, kind of tie in, feel connected to other people, other women who had shared the same experiences with them. And so that's what we did. So we came up with a program called Hope for Widows. And it's actually been quite amazing. So we trained them, and then we also give them grants. We gave them a grant of cash to start their businesses, so up to 2 grants of $150. And we can go ahead. Yeah, so this is one of our Hope for Widows groups. Let me just tell a little bit more about the curriculum, and I'll talk about this photo. So we give them a grant, and we give them goats, and then we train them. One of the other things we train them is about family health, reproductive health, those kinds of things. Their rights under the Kenyan law as women and as widows, because sometimes they don't know their rights. They've been told you're nothing, or just be quiet. We're planning your life for you. That's the other thing that happens, like their in-laws, because they're living at in the homestead with their in-laws, and sometimes they're sort of in that orbit, but not really asked, what do you want? What do you think? Those kinds of things. So this program started, we piloted it in 2022. We've had 2 groups. The pilot group goes through the first cycle of 2 grants and goats, and now we're seeing some big changes. And so this lady, talk about holy boldness, and audacious, her name is Nonkipa. So yeah, she's got many names. Nonkipa is a lady, is a name for a woman, like when you're a wife, that comes, it's like a fertile, like woman of much abundance, right? Her other name is Soya. She's also Mama Jackie. So her daughter is named Jackie. And she's right there in the middle holding their certificate. So we sort of, got the ball rolling and introduced them to each other and gave them the grants and the goals. And they themselves, and this is what you hope for, they decided to make their own official group. So they registered themselves, they chose their chair lady. This is Mama Jackie in the middle there. And they now absorbed the new group of widows too, and they're taking care of each other. When somebody's sick, they go visit. They also challenge each other. They say, oh, you're keeping very good records. What's going on with your business? You're taking your eye off the ball. What's going on with you? So we're monitoring them, but they're monitoring themselves, which is so amazing, right? So, and her daughter Jackie was our first field assistant, one of the people who was doing the monitoring. How's your business going? What did you sell this week? How's your record? How do your records look? And then we were able to help her by connecting her to a donor, and her daughter is going to university for veterinary medicine. So that's amazing, right? And so some of those long, multi-strand necklaces back there are made by Mama Jackie, and that's one of the ways that she's helping her daughter stay in school, pay for food, and those kinds of things. So let's just see, what do we have? Go ahead. In the photos. Oh yeah, so Koyasu. So this is an individual case study. So Koyasu is the lady on the left. So what she decided, so when they get their $150, they get to choose what kind of business that they can go in. So they might buy more beads, they might buy household like dishes and pots and pans and sell those. They might sell food out of their home. A lot of people do that. But Koyasu said, no, I want to buy hot, beautiful fabrics, and I'm going to go around and sell them from village to village. And that's what she does. When you see her, she's got usually a big pack on her back of the fabrics, going from one village to the other. And going from making about $50 a month, she now makes about $400 a month through the profit she saves. The money that she saved, she managed to put a fence around her village, to connect water to her village. She's just done so many things. She's like, she saves everything. 1 minute, all right, counting down. So what else can I tell you? We are currently go ahead. So this is the goats and grants ceremony where they got the money and also the goats. And we are doing a special fundraiser right now for goats and grants. So if you come back into the back there, we have special cards. We're selling goats for $70, right? And grants up for $150. Yeah. So that will allow us to keep on expanding the Hope for Widows program, which in fact, is transforming these ladies' lives. Because I love to hear when I ask them, so do you need anything from us now? They're like, no, we're good. So that's it. So your support and prayers and everything, can help us help more ladies, help more women to become stronger and stronger and more. And then they want to scooping other people in. Because one of the things about the goats is they give birth. And so each lady is for the first goat baby that they have, they pay it forward.